In this video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to use Venn diagrams to get a visualization of what the union, intersection, and the complement does to sets. So, the first thing, we're going to model the union between A and B. And how are we going to show that using this Venn diagram? Well, this entire circle stands for A. So, if we have A, if we just want to model A, then we just need to shade in all of A, right? Including this middle part, right? And if we wanted to model B, or show what B looks like on this Venn diagram, then we would shade in the entire circle that represents B. So what do these set operations do? Well, we have a union, okay? We have a union here. So what does a union stand for? Well, a union stands for the combination of A and B. Union. We're putting these two together. So we need to shade in A, right? And we can also shade in B. And we can combine these two together to get this area. So this right here, if you get this on an exam and you wanted to shade in A union B, and you shaded in this, both the circles, good, you got full points for that. All right, what about this intersection? Well, the intersection is the area where you're both A and both B. So which area is both A and both B? Remember, this is A and this is B. Where do they intersect? Well, they intersect at the center, right? So this right here is A intersection B. All right, what about this bar? What does this bar stand for? Well, this bar stands for everything that is not A. So that includes the area outside the Venn diagram. So I'm going to fill it in everything that is not A. Right? So this is everything that is not A. And we want to find the intersection between this, right, and B. So where's B? Well, we're going to fill in B. We can fill in it like this with a yellow area. And what do we have here? Well, the intersection between these two, right, where the yellow overlaps the blue, is this, right? And let's actually remove all the colors to make it a little more simple to see. What is this, right? This right here is the intersection between the complement of A and B. Ha 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 ha! This Venn diagram looks a little more complex, but don't let it trip you up, because if you take these things step by step, you'll be completely fine. All right, so we have A union B first. So what's the union between A and B? Well, let's shade in A, and then let's shade in B. And we combine these two shadings together, and that's the union. There you go. This right here is a union of A and B. Put a check mark next to that. We are done with that. What about the intersection between A, B, and C? Well, we can find the intersection between A and B first. So this is A, and this is B. Where do they intersect? Well, they intersect right around here. So let's shade this in for now. This is temporary, right? This is not the answer. This right here is just the intersection between A and B. We're doing this in order. And then we can find the intersection between C and the intersection between A and B. So what does that mean? Well, we're just finding the intersection between this value and C, okay? So this section right here is A intersection B, and we want to find this intersection with C, okay? So let's color in C. Let's color in with yellow. All right, and where do they intersect? Well, it seems like this section right here, there's no blue, so this isn't part of A intersection B. This section right here, there's no blue, right? There's no blue from the A intersection B. And this section right here, there is, well, this isn't even, this is just solely part of C. This is only part of C. So where's the intersection? It's this tiny little piece right here. So if we shade this in, this right here is the intersection between all of A, B, and C. Check mark. All right, what's the intersection between A and C? Well, the intersection between A and C is, we can shade in A, and then we can shade in C. And where do these two shadings overlap? Right, let's use a different color, right around here, okay? So let's shade in this section, right? And this right here is the intersection between A and C. Okay, well, here's where we need to be careful. And, bruh, I need to change these. Hold up. I meant to do it like this. Here's where we need to be careful. Because the order of operations matter when you're doing set operations, okay? There's an order. And the higher precedent one between union and intersection, right, is intersection. The intersection is more important, okay? Well, I guess it's not more important. It's just as important. Okay, let's not say that. It's just as important, but it goes first. You must calculate the intersection first, okay? So if I wanted to find this entire expression, if I want to shade in this entire expression, I would need to shade in the intersection between C and A first. And then take that union with B, okay? So we shaded in the intersection between C and A, and we're unioning it with B. So let's combine it with B, which is just right over here. So this right here is B union C intersection A, right? So we colored this part in, and we colored all of B in to represent the union. So remember, the intersection goes first. And I want to show you why that's different, okay? These answers will be different depending on the order you do it. And all I did was, oh, how silly me. I should not have changed this. This is not, it's supposed to be intersection and union, but all I had to do was put parentheses around the B and C. Because, first thing, right, for this, we calculate the intersection first, so we can imagine there's parentheses around it. But for this, I put the parentheses around the B and C, the B union C, so we can calculate this first, okay? So what's the union between B and C? Well, I just got to color in all of C and color in all of B, okay? And this right here is the union between B and C. Now here's the thing. We need to find the intersection between this and A. And what's this? Well, this is already colored in, so we can color in A, and then we can find the intersection between these. So this is A, and we're coloring in A right here. So where does the yellow and the blue overlap? Well, the yellow and the blue overlaps in this section right here. So this is B union C in parentheses with the intersection in A of A. But remember, this looked like this, right? The previous problem looked like this. So the order in which you do intersections and unions can change your answer, which is why it is very important to keep in mind the order of operations when it comes to set operations. Okay, so these answers will change, and if you don't put the right answer, right, if you don't do the intersection first and then do the union, you will get the question wrong on your exam. But let's move on to another problem. Last problem, but I'm gonna tell a quick story. If you don't want to hear it, I'll put a timestamp, I guess, for you guys that don't care about me. But oh man, I was in math class the other day. This might be a little graphic warning. It's related to poop, okay? I was in math class on this Monday, and I went and I had to leave class early, but he has an attendance policy. He's very strict on it, right? I love my math teacher. He's a very cool guy. He's hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, but he's very strict on attendance. And I left early, and I didn't think that was a big deal, right? I left early because I was about to crap my pants, man. I literally couldn't hold it in anymore. I had to run to the bathroom. I'm serious, and I didn't even set up. You guys have like a toilet fortress setup where you put like the paper towels on the seat, so you know your buttocks doesn't come in contact with the seat, you know, the dirty seat. I didn't even set it up, right? I'm a big germaphobe, man. I did not set that up. I couldn't hold it in any longer. Okay, too much detail, right? But I don't know. On Wednesday, the next Wednesday, some kid tried to leave the classroom. Okay, some kid tried to leave the classroom early, and then he crashed out. Oh my god, man. Well, it wasn't like a full crash, but he sounded pissed. He was like, I had some kid on Monday leave the class early, so I don't want anybody else to do that. That kid was me. I was in class. He was talking about me. I don't know. Leave it down in the comment section. Should I go to his office hours and tell him the little background so he's not as pissed? But I think it's still close enough to the date that he'll remember that. But oh my god, he got mad as hell at the kid because I left on Monday. He didn't know I left because I had to crap my pants, bro. I didn't know it disturbed him that much. But to be frank, I'm not hating on the guy. He's an amazing professor. Honestly, he's hilarious. This guy's so funny. He's bald. Okay, bald people, instantaneously you have +2 plus 2 humor points added into your stats just because you're bald. But let's go to the problem. Okay, I'm done with the talking. Yeah, you probably skipped on the timestamp. All right, if you did, I hate you. I'm kidding. But we have the not A first. So let's find the not A, because remember what I said about the order of operations? Well, the complement, okay, I just said not, but the complement, same thing. The complement has a higher precedent than intersection, okay? So we always calculate the complement first. So let's go ahead and find the complement of A. The complement of A is just everything that is not an A. So we can shade all of this in. We can shade all of this in. All right. What about C? Well, we're finding the intersection here. We don't find the union first because this is the intersection, and we want to find the intersection between complement A and C first, because intersection is more important than union. Don't tell union I said that. But let's go ahead and color in C. So let's go ahead and color in C so we can find the intersection between C and complement A. And where do the colors overlap? Well, they don't overlap here, right? But they do overlap here. So this right here is this guy's for complement A intersection B, and all we need to do is color in the entirety of B because we're finding the union, right? Union, you're just combining the areas. So I'm just combining this area with B. Let's color in B. And this right here, as long as you colored approximately what I colored, this right here is complement A intersection C union B. Check mark. All right, what is this? Well, remember how I said you calculate the complement first? The complement's more important than the intersection, which means the complement's more important than the union. Well, if you see the complement over an entire operation like this, it's implied that there's a parentheses around the operation first, and parentheses are the most important in any order of operations. But it's implied that there's a parentheses around the A union B first, and then you find the complement of A union B. So let's go ahead and shade in A union B. Right? So this is A union B, correct? We shaded in A, and we shaded in B. This is A union B. Then we want to find the complement of this. So we want to color everything except for what we have already colored. Okay? So let's erase this. Let's color everything but this. So right, like, oops, ooh, I got into the B region. Around the B, go around the B. Like this. All right, so this right here is A union B, not, or complement. Oops, move the parenthesis. All right, how about this? You decide how to do this. Try to figure it out. Hopefully you've been trying to figure out these problems before I do them. But try to figure this out. All right, so if you said that we find the union of A and C first, or C and A first, I'm disappointed in you, because you need to calculate the intersection first. And for those of you that found the intersection first, right, because you remember intersection is more important, give yourself a pat in the back. For those of you that said find the union first, give yourself a wet willy, stick your finger inside of your mouth, and then put it inside of your ear. Okay, I'm kidding. That's like Diver Wimpy Kid bullying, okay? Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. That's completely nasty. But just remember, okay, keep this as a lesson. The intersection is more important than the union, right? Has a higher precedence, so you calculate it first. So let's find the intersection of A and B. We already know that is here. Okay, so this is the intersection of A and B. And we just need to find the union of the intersection of A and B with C. So the union of this with C. What is that? Well, we just need to color in C. And this right here is our answer for this guy. All right, we have this last guy right here. So remember, we said that the complement was more important than the intersection, as a higher precedent. But when you have the bar over an entire operation like this, already over an intersection, you don't calculate the complement first, you calculate the intersection first. So let's find the intersection between B and C. That's this guy right here. And let's find the complement of this guy. Let's find the complement. It's just everything but this tiny little section. So let's color everything but that section that we filled in before, which is this. Okay? So everything but this guy right here. Well, we want to find the intersection, right, with A. We want to find the intersection of this with A. What is this? Well, this is exactly what we colored in already. Okay, we've colored this. I don't want to say it all because it would be very confusing. I could say B intersection C complement, but that's a little confusing. It's a mouthful, hard to follow. So I'm just going to say this. All right. So we need to find the intersection between this and A. Okay. So oops, we deleted all that. So we want to fill in A. So let's fill in A. Okay. So we filled in A. Where does the yellow and the blue overlap? It overlaps not everywhere in A except for this section right here. This little center section, there's no overlap. There's no blue in here, okay? So we just want to fill in all of A except for this triangular kind of part right here. So that's it. Hopefully by now, you know very well how to do set operations with complements, unions, and intersections. There's a couple other set operations, like this guy and the difference. Okay? So that'll be another video. If you guys have heard of that and you want to practice that, I can leave the link down in the description when I make the video. But anyways, if you have any questions, put it in the comment section. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing and liking the video. Thanks for watching.